Ask yourself why you went through the pain of getting yourself such a good education. Education is important. We all need an education. Yes, I understand that. I'd be a fool to think that education is unnecessary. I would be only a fool who would say something like that. Education is essential. But just think about the education that you went through, the level of education that you had to go through. Among you will be doctors, medical doctors, as well as PhD doctors. Some of you may have multiple doctorates. Some of you may have other accreditations. Maybe you're a chartered whoever, engineer, and so on, accountants. You know, some of these targets you set for yourself not because you wanted them. There may be many among you who, when you were a kid, your ambition was to be a dancer. You liked dancing. You wanted to be an artist. You liked drawing. There were things that you liked to do, but those dreams and those ambitions were very short-lived. Because soon enough, what happened? You had society to please. Even to this day, you may still be on a path that you had not set for yourself. It was a path that society had set for you. And by society, I mean everyone else. Starts off with your parents. Once again, you can't blame them, you can't fault them for this because they're also victims of society. They have to do what society says. Otherwise, you can't survive. It's ironical, though, that we claim to have independence. We speak of national independence, we speak about personal independence. We say that we are human beings and therefore we have the intelligence to pick and choose what we want to do, what we like to do, and we can set our own paths, we can set our own ambitions. Unlike animals, we say. You say your pet dog cannot pick and choose where he sleeps tonight because it is the master who decides that. You say an animal does not get to pick or choose what he eats that evening because it's the master who decides that. And so we put the two of us on a scale and say, dogs, pets, animals, they are victims. They have to surrender to what others decide on their behalf. And then we put ourselves on the other side of the scale and say, unlike us, we can do whatever the hell we want. Really? I'll ask you a question and answer this for yourself. You need not shout out the answer because it would be far too embarrassing. I'll ask you the question. How many of you are today really engaged in what, when you were younger, you thought would truly make you happy? Just think for a moment. You thought you wanted to do something. How many of you are truly on that path? For most, if not all of you, that path got diverted. At various junctions in life, you wanted to go left and someone said, no, not that way. We are respectable in society. We have to go right, can't go left. Perhaps your grandfather said that to you. You were just being innocent. You went and took a seat on his lap. And you went there to listen to him give you a folk tale. And then he asked you, what do you want to do when you grow old? When you grow up, what do you want to be? I want to be a teacher. Because you loved your teacher from school. I want to be a teacher. And then your grandfather said, teacher? But Putta, in our family, we're all doctors. Teacher? Okay. Doctor. Don't settle for teacher when you can go for doctor. So now, you are indoctrinated. From here on, it was not going to be you who was going to decide your future. Your grandfather now had to say. He didn't know any different. He was none the wiser. All he knew was what his grandfather had told him. That's why he said, in our family we are all doctors. So, how come he became a doctor then? Because his father was one. His grandfather was one. His society pushed him down that way. Ultimately, we are like zombies. Have you watched those zombie movies? What are they drawn towards? Flesh, blood, humans. When they sense there's a human somewhere, zombies are drawn towards them. It's very much like that. In society, ladies and gentlemen, you are drawn by the current. The current takes you. And ultimately, everyone goes down whatever path they're pushed along. And then there comes a day when we all have to die because we are all born. And then on that day, you look back and you ask yourself, is that the life I wanted to live? People have these things called midlife crisis. You know what I'm talking about? Some of you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got that one, Swami. It's when there comes a moment in life you think back at your life and you go, geez, this is not where I wanted to end up in life. I wanted to live like a fairy princess. Today I'm living this kind of life. My husband's left me for another woman. Or my wife has left me for another man. This is not the kind of life I wanted. I'm stuck in a job that I didn't want to do. I have a bunch of in-laws who I just don't get along with. Then there are colleagues at work, they just hate me. I hate them, they hate me. It's a mutual relationship. It's a hate-hate relationship we have at work. What's going on with my life? They say around the age of 40, you have this midlife crisis. But most of the time, there's not much you can do because you don't have an alternative. Most of the time. Some give up work, they start a business. They think, this is not going to work. I just want to be my own boss, do my own thing. Right? I've had enough with other people calling the shots. Now it's me, my car, my petrol. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with my own life. So you pack up. You walk in brave and bold into the office room to see your boss and say, you know what, boss? That's it. Today's the end. Here's my resignation. He looks down from his glasses and says, are you sure? He looks above his glasses. He goes, are you sure? Have you thought carefully before you make this decision? Oh, yes. You only decided that morning. That morning you woke up and you thought that was it. That was enough because you had that midlife crisis. That morning. Quickly drafted that resignation letter. Actually, you downloaded one off the internet. And you handed it into your boss. That's it. Enough. This is the spur of the moment, right? You're feeling emotional right now. You're still blind, but instead of going one way, you want to go another way. You're still blind. So one alternative, which is as bad as the other alternative because you're still blind. What you're about to do now is going to make a decision that you're going to regret later. A lot of people have gone through this, people are still going through this, people will always go through this, ladies and gentlemen, because when people have to make choices, they don't really look at all their options. I can't blame them for it because they have not come across the real option. There are options and there are real options. Just take a moment to think back about your lives and ask yourselves this question, hand on heart. Did you really have the real options when it was time in your life to make those choices? How come you're still not happy then? Happiness always escapes you. Contentment always escapes you. Why do you have to live your life like a zombie? Always hoping that the next day is going to make you happy. Always hoping that the next encounter is going to make you happy. Always hoping not this wife, but my next wife is going to make me happy. Happens. Some people live from relationship to relationship. My next relationship is going to make me happy. They're looking for fulfillment where it cannot be found. You'd have better luck going after a mirage looking for water. You'd have better luck. These are the avenues that society will try and guide you down, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful.